Hello everyone and welcome to a very special Comics Etc. news bulletin for San Diego Comic-Con 2024. Now I think you'll all notice the first thing is that my little sidekick Remington Fellman isn't here. Turns out he wanted a day off and it was a bit inappropriate to work 60 hours a week and he wanted to be at home. Pathetic. But don't you worry everyone, I've planned a little something. Let me just get my little iPhone out here and there we go. We got ourselves a little Remy's gonna be here anyway, so it's not all bad news. Actually, hang on, wait one sec. Something's missing. Let me just edit. There we go. Just had to add the mole. All right, so now I've got Remy here, and the good news is that he can't make fun of me the entire episode. And I can actually have a good time without him badgering me about my age or how ugly I am without my glasses. All right. Hope everyone's had a good San Diego Comic-Con. It's been a lot of news for comics and we're gonna stick to just comic news today because I don't like talking about movie news. So let's start with DC. DC had a pretty big showing this month with All In, which is DC's kind of soft reboot of their semi-entire line of comics spreading out of Absolute Power. So at the end of Absolute Power, we've been told that something happens with Darkseid, and we're going to get a one-shot called it's going to be called DC Comics All In. It's going to be just a self-contained one-shot, which is going to go to the creative reboot of All In for the DC Universe, the main series. And we're going to get a launch of the Absolute Universe, which is DC's version of the Ultimate Universe from Marvel. Now, let's start with the All In stuff. I'm actually really excited about this because the last time DC did a creative relaunch, we got DC Rebirth, and it was fantastic. They realized that DC New 52 was pretty ordinary, so they decided creatively to reboot it, and most of the titles were fantastic. So it looks like that's what they're doing now. We're going to get new creative teams for Detective Comics with Tom Taylor on it. We're going to get the comics that already have strong creative teams doing new storylines, so you guys can just jump in straight away and read something good. But all of them will have a fresh take on the already existing universe. On the flip side, we're going to get the Absolute Universe, kind of spearheaded by Scott Snyder from Batman fame. Okay, the cynical part of me was not looking forward to this one. We've already seen his take on Batman in the New 52, in All-Star Batman, in Dark Knight's Metal, and I thought, you know, here we go again. However, the take of what he wants to do sounds absolutely fantastic. He's stripping back all the superheroes to be fresh and a brand new take on them. So let's start with Batman, shall we? We're not, we're gonna start with Absolute Wonder Woman is what we're gonna start off with. Diana is now the very first superhero. There's no other superheroes around. There's no Paradise Island. It is just her. That's a pretty interesting take that we haven't seen before. So if that's gonna be the first superhero, I'm very keen on that one. She's a warrior. So she's going to be tough, and she's going to have a big black giant skeleton Pegasus. So there's still going to be the dark aspect there, which sounds pretty good. Absolute Superman, this one looks really interesting. It's the last son of Krypton, of course, but he's angry, he's younger and hotter, and he's going to be more of a Superboy 1990s take on Superman. So that one's, once again, as far as Superman's concerned, I haven't seen that before. Batman looks pretty interesting. He's not going to be old, he's going to be in his 20s. He's going to be about 6'2", so he's going to be taller than what he's ever been before. He's going to be a bit of a weightlifter and a bit of a character. And the not the creative team, his sidekicks like Alfred is going to be tough. I like how Alfred's always tough lately. So that one's going to be really good too. We got announced there's going to be Absolute Flash and Absolute Green Lantern. We don't know much about them, but all in all, I think the Absolute Universe is going to be pretty good. That is already available over at comicsetcdirect.com.au, so if you want to pre-order them now and save some money, you can actually get that right now as far as the creative relaunch goes for DC. They just decided to announce it pretty late for San Diego Comic-Con, so looks amazing. And also, in a previous video, I said what I want in San Diego Comic-Con is a reboot of Justice League, and I'm getting that with Justice League Unlimited by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. So let's see who the characters are actually. Okay, so we're going to have it with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Martian Manhunter. Perfect Justice League team if you ask me. But we're also going to have Captain Atom, Black Lightning, and Star Sapphire. So I really like that. I think it's really important that we have a top 5 plus a little sidekicky type ones to like flesh them out to make them A-listers. So that's really good. We're also going to get a Justice Society of America relaunch by Jeff Lemire if the Jeff Johns series ever wraps up. So let's just say this one should be happening in probably 2027. But the artwork looks amazing, the lineup looks amazing, and it looks like another good relaunch for DC with that one there. Dark Horse Comics also announced that it now has the license for both Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering. This, to me, is pretty big news because a couple years ago, we were all kind of thinking, Dark Horse, I'm a bit worried about you, all you have is Hellboy. Not anymore, what have they got now? They've got Hellboy, the Mark Millar universe, Stranger Things, Halo, and now they have Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons. I think they're probably in the most healthy position they've been in a very long time. So big Dark Horse news. I'm really looking forward to what they do with those franchises. Joe Quesada announced that he is also starting up a brand new publishing company. I thought this one was a bit one of note just because he's got a very big Rolodex, and if anyone can pull off a brand new company, it would be him. However, we've seen a lot of new companies pop up lately and they don't last long. So let's hope this is more of a distillery rather than a whatnot. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for is the big Marvel news of the con, but I'm not going to talk about the movie stuff. If you want the movie stuff, go to every other channel. I will mention at the very end how comics apply to the news that came up, but you're going to have to wait till the very end. My big news that came out of this, there was a lot of little titles announced. We got West Coast Avengers, which looks pretty good. It's got Ultron on the team. We have the TVA are getting their own comic. This one I'm very excited about because if you're a fan of anything to do with Marvel, you know the TVA is a very important part of it. However, the team on it looks like it is a version of Gambit. There's Spider-Gwen, there's Captain Carter, there's that clock guy, Clocky, let's just call him Clocky's on it. Female Loki and some other guys. Either way, looks like a really good character lineup for it, and I really hope this one takes off because I think it could be important to kind of bridge the comic universe and the movie universe. The other big news that came out of it was Marvel, with the relaunch of the X-Men, they started doing QR codes as a bonus page for the end of their comics. Big news, blew up, everyone hated it for some reason. I didn't mind the idea, but Marvel heard the backlash and the QR codes are already gone. So for those of you saying that Marvel don't listen, they listen a little bit. Now, on the same track, however, they did announce the big news. If you're over on Comics Etc. Direct, you'll notice that there is absolutely no classification or what's going on for Deadpool issue 7. We now know why. Marvel are going to kill off Deadpool. They are replacing Deadpool with someone called Ellie Wilson. I don't know who that is. But they're replacing him and killing him off. And nothing says Marvel listens to the public than killing off their big franchise character the same week where the hit movie comes out. Doing. Like, what are you doing, Marvel? Announce a new series or something, not the death of Wade Wilson, but could be a good storyline, just very bad timing. The big news of comics going into 2025 will be Doom is returning to the Marvel Universe in a very big full year. I don't know if it's going to be crossover, they haven't announced what it is. It could just be that Doctor Doom is back and he's going to be around as a big crossover story or whatever it is. Doom is back, and I can tell you now, you guys have been asking for Doom comics non-stop for the last year, and it's finally coming. So I really look forward to whatever they do with Doom, if it's anything like the one-shot that just came out by everyone's favorite creative team behind Ultimate Spider-Man, Hickman. See, I remembered. And I know you're watching this, Remy, and you're going, oh yeah, you're so dumb, oh yeah, you forgot who Hickman is. Nah, shut up. This is my show today, I don't have to listen to your guff. So, I do have to say something about the movie news. So, this is specifically to all you comic readers who have been around for a while. Now, I've said this theory a couple of times in the past, but I don't know if I've got it on camera. If you want to know what's going to happen in the movies, look at the comics a couple years before. Before they even announced Namor was going to be in Black Panther, there was a slew of Namor comics. before they had the binary character in Captain Marvel. They were reprinting all the binary comics. And now, lo and behold, just this morning we get the news about not Tony Stark, who's the active guy again? You know the guy. Tony Stark.
It's Robert Downey Jr.,
idiot.
regularly.
Shut up, Remy. Whoever plays him regularly is going to be the new Doctor Doom. And what did Marvel print 6 months ago? Infamous Iron Man, which has Tony Stark being replaced by Doctor Doom. Who saw that coming? Also, if you've seen the new Deadpool Wolverine, I'm not going to give any spoilers other than Avengers of the Wasteland. Look familiar? That came out a little while ago. Avengers Forever, an intergalactic team featuring Giant Man. Look familiar? And the last one is the just released Weapon X miniseries featuring specifically Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, Patch, Old Man Logan, and a zombie Wolverine. Gee, wonder why that's relevant. Look at the comics for where the movies are going. Oh, and the big one, of course, which relates to both the X-Men animated TV show and Wolverine and X-Men, is they decided to reprint the Cassandra Nova storylines. I'm telling you, look at it. So if you're gonna ask my theory on what's coming up next in the movies based on the comics, Namor's definitely making a return because he does not sell in comics, but they're doing another Namor miniseries. Night Thrasher might make an appearance because a Night Thrasher comic is going on, and I can tell you now, no one's asking for a Night Thrasher series. And I think something big's happening with Spider-Gwen. There's constant relaunches, and there's also something going on with the TVA with her. So just throwing it out there. So that's pretty much all the comic news for San Diego Comic-Con 2024. Remy will be back next episode, hopefully. Well, did we miss him? And you guys can join us over at Comics Etc. or comicsetcdirect.com.au. Don't forget, we still have our competition going at the moment where you can win a $200 voucher. All you got to do is make sure you've subscribed and commented so we know you're not a robot, and that'll be drawn as soon as we hit the 500 mark. So we'll catch you next time.